start with a very, very brief idea from the parasha. And then I'm going to open up to a really exciting Siyyum that I think will express things much better. But I'm a rabbi, and I've taken the stage, and so I must speak Torah. It's just a compulsion that I have, okay? In this week's parsha, we have an interesting disagreement between Bezalel and Moshe. Moshe thought that when he gave the instructions to the Mishkan, that the order is first the Aron, and then the Kelim, and then the Mishkan, and the Bayit. First the things that fill the Mishkan, and then the construction. Moshe says, Aron, Kelim, Mishkan. Bezalel, in his execution of Moshe's instructions, goes the Bayit, the Mishkan first, and then the Kelim that fill it. And Moshe and Bezalel argue about this. In the end, Moshe says, Bezalel, how did you know that the right thing to do is to first build the Mishkan and then bring the Kelim in? Were you perhaps Bezalel? Were you perhaps in the shadow of God when this instruction was given? Rav Kook takes this midrash and says something so profound and deep about artists. He says Bezalel is the consummate artist. And he has a vision of the world that disagrees with Moshe. Moshe sees the world according to principles, according to priorities. What's the most important thing? That's the Aron. So that has to go first. Bezalel, says Rav Kook, sees the world as it really is. He sees the world in the way it has to be. You cannot have a house, right? You can't have Kelim if you don't have a place to put them. So first we build the house and we bring the Kelim into it. There is a vision and a sensitivity about an artist and a musician. And in this machloket, Moshe says to Bezalel, our archetype of the artist, that indeed your vision is in a certain sense closer to God, and that is his name, Bezalel, someone who's in the shadow of God. It is my blessing that the arts and the music that you will experience this evening should bring us all collectively closer under the shadow of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I would like to now open and turn the stage over to our Chumash teacher, Zimmerman, who ran an amazing program, which wasn't right in the schedule. She kind of stepped into the breach and introduced this. She dropped a challenge to the students to make sure that they would keep up and complete all of Sefer, the Parshiot, Breshit Shmot, and we're here to celebrate a celebration, a Siyyum of Parshat Shmot. Zimmerman.
Okay, I'd just like to make one correction. That our goal is to finish the entire Torah. We have finished so far, Baruch Hashem, Sefer Breshit and Sefer Shmot. And right now, I would like to invite one by one each of our students to come and tell you a little bit about each parsha in Sefer Shmot.
Hello, everyone. Hello. In Parshat Shmot, Pharaoh ordered Shifra and Puah to kill the male babies, which they refused to do. Then Pharaoh ordered to have the babies thrown in the Nile. A very special baby was born to Yocheved named Moshe. Moshe was raised by Pharaoh's daughter. One day he witnessed an Egyptian beating a Jew, and he killed that man. When he rebuked two Jews fighting the next day, he realized that they knew what he had done, so he had to flee to Midian, where he married Zipporah and became a shepherd. God came to Moshe in the burning bush, and he received instruction to tell Pharaoh to let the children of Israel out of Egypt. Pharaoh refuses, and their pain increases. The parsha ends with Moshe asking God why he did this, and God saying redemption is coming soon. What can we learn from Moshe becoming the leader of Am Yisrael? Despite his speech problem, extreme humbleness, and shyness, he became our greatest leader of all time, showing that we all can achieve greatness if we set our minds to it. Also, Moshe gave honor to his older brother Aaron. Aaron was pleased that Moshe became the leader without feeling jealous or inferior. From this we learn how important it is to rejoice with our friends and family when they experience success, and try to detach ourselves from our own personal egos.
Hi, I have Parshat Vayera, and who's doing that laugh at me? I'm trying my best. This parsha has the first 7 makot. Dam Svardaya, Kinim, Alov, Dever, Shrim, Baraj. That's it. A fun way that we can remember this is the first 2 letters of Vayera are a Vav and an Aleph. And in Gematria, a Vav is a 6 and an Aleph is 1, and that equals 7. And then the next parsha, Parsha Po, has the last 3. And in Gematria, a Bet is 2 and Aleph is 1, and that makes 3. So the first 7 are in Vayera, and the second 3 and the last 3 are in Po. Thank you.
Hi, I did Parshat Bo. So, like Tova said, it has the last 3 makot, Arbe, Hoshech, and Makabechorot. Also, this parsha, like Hashem explains that Bnei Israel have to give the Korban Pesach, and this is where the whole you have to shecht the lamb and put the blood on the doorpost so that when Hashem does Makabechorot, he passes over. This is where Moses come from, which is pretty cool. And then they're also commanded to eat the korban with matzah and maror, and I think it's interesting because they were commanded to eat matzah before Yetziat Mitzrayim even happened. And I'm reading this book by Rabbi Akiva Tatz called Living Inspired. It's a really good book. I recommend it. And he explains that we don't celebrate Pesach in the springtime because Yetziat Mitzrayim happened in the spring, but actually time has these energies that allowed Yetziat Mitzrayim to happen during spring. And in Breshit, when the 2 Malachim come to Sodom to destroy it, Lot invites them in and he gives them matzot. And then Rashi comments that it was Pesach time, so that's why he had matzah. But Breshit was way before Yetziat Mitzrayim, so it just explains that the time of spring and Pesach demands matzah and Pesach. So I just think it's interesting that they were commanded to eat matzah before even Yetziat Mitzrayim happened. And then we also get the mitzvah of Pesach, 7 days unleavened bread. We're coming up to that, so it's cool. Yeah.
I did Mashallah, which basically is just the Jewish people are finally able to leave Egypt because Pharaoh lets them go. And so when they're in the desert, God takes them on the longest route possible, and his reasoning is because he says that perhaps the people will reconsider when they see a war and they'll return to Egypt. Because if they took a shorter route, then they were definitely going to run into a war, and then they were going to get scared and they were going to turn back. So everyone was saying why would they just automatically turn back once they already saw all these miracles that happened? That doesn't make any sense because they should just have faith in Hashem. And so the reason is because God made us with 2 different, he made us with 2 different powerful drives. One is the drive to try and achieve goals that we don't necessarily think we could accomplish. And the second one is to knock ourselves down and doubt ourselves and stop us from actually being able to even start attempting those goals. And so basically, the reason that we have both of those is because the only way that you get to a place of feeling actual excitement and happiness from achieving something is by having the first drive of not feeling like you can do it. Because if you automatically do everything you set out to achieve, it's not so special because you're just going to do it anyway. So basically, God wanted to take the long route around because he wanted us to see a ton of little bad things like thirst and hunger, which would make us doubt ourselves and reconsider, but not as much as a whole war, which would just scare everybody really quickly into going back to Egypt. So all the small things would make us doubt ourselves, but not enough to not achieve Eretz Yisrael, which we now. So thanks.
I had Parshat Yitro. So Parshat Yitro begins with Moshe's father-in-law Yitro joining Bnei Israel. And Yitro sees that Moshe has taken upon himself to judge and guide all of Bnei Israel on his own. And he tells him, Moshe, this is too much work for you. You're overworking yourself. And so Yitro sets up a system of judges, of Zkenim, to split up the workload and to judge Bnei Israel in the sections. Later in the parsha, right before we see the Ten Commandments, God tells Bnei Israel to be a mamlechet kohanim, a nation of priests, and a goy kadosh, a holy nation. Rav Kook explains that in mamlechet kohanim, job is to uplift the rest of the world and to teach them our values, whereas a goy kadosh, a holy nation, their job is to uplift themselves. Because how can we set an example for the rest of the world if we're not exemplifying our own values? This brings us back to the story of Yitro, that Yitro teaches us that the best way to take care of others is to first take care of yourself. It is not selfish to prioritize your own needs because it makes it better for you to be able to take care of others.
So I had Mishpatim, and it's where God issued the laws, and he told Bnei Israel them before they even received the Torah to see if they would truly accept the Torah. Some of the laws included indentured servants, which is where we get an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth thing. Keeping of seasonal festivals, the gifts that are going to be brought to the Holy Temple of Korban, and the prohibition of eating meat and dairy in the mitzvot of prayer. Hashem also promises to bring Bnei Israel to the Holy Land, and they proclaim, we will do and we will hear all that God commands us, leaving Aaron and her in charge and sending Moshe to Har Sinai to receive the Torah from God, because they agreed to it.
Hi. I have Shema and Tzitzaveh. So these parshas are basically all about, all that's in it is God telling Moshe, how to do stuff. So in Shema, God tells Moshe what Bnei Israel needs to give for, to build the Mishkan, and, how to make all the kelim, the aron, the shulchan, menorah, the covers for the walls, the mizbeach, and, how the courtyard should be built. Then Tzitzaveh, God tells Moshe how to do more stuff, like the oil for the Ner Tamid, the garments for the Kohens, the Choshen, how to anoint the Kohens, and about Korban Note and the incense altar. So it's a lot of, details. And so, the question is, why do we care? Why are all these, specific details and instructions, why is it relevant to today? What can we learn from it? Is it, so we know how to rebuild the kelim? There are people that are doing it, and there's a museum that we went to earlier this year where they're rebuilding the kelim. Is that why we have all the details? Maybe. But also, I thought about it, and I think maybe a reason is, it emphasizes the importance of details, of paying attention to details in halakha, because we have to pay attention to those details in halakha. We want God to dwell in our lives like he dwelt in the Mishkan.
I have Parsha Kitisa, which is all about Pesego. In Parsha Kitisa, the Jewish people had just witnessed Matan Torah. Moshe is on top of the mountain, and the Jewish people are anxiously awaiting his return. The Jews miscalculated the 40 days, and they think that he's late. Rumors start to circulate that he isn't coming back at all. The people go to Aaron and tell him to make a shrine because they have no idea what had become of Moshe. The people give their jewelry to Aaron, and he casts them into a golden calf. Then they begin to say, "This is your God, O Israel, who brought you out of Egypt." The question is obvious. If the Jews had just witnessed God's power in the 10 plagues, splitting up the Red Sea, and God's revelation at Har Sinai, how could these same people then worship a golden calf? Their answer is that the Jews never intended to worship the golden calf. When Bnei Israel thought Moshe was late, they panicked. Because Moshe was with them through all the miracles. While they knew God orchestrated all the miracles, it was Moshe who raised his staff to split the Red Sea. And they relied on Moshe as leader. Their real mistake was that they lost patience. The peace of knowing that life is a process and everything happens in its own time. This lack of patience and trust made them lose touch with reality, and fueled by fear and anxiety, their imaginations began to run wild. The Talmud says that they actually saw a vision of Moshe dead. So the Jews reasoned, if Moshe isn't coming back, we must make a replacement. And so the golden calf was made. Not as an idol, not as a rebellion against God, but as a figure. A mere shrine to replace Moshe. And before they knew it, it was full-blown idolatry.
So basically I have Bayakal and Pigude, which is a rewritten Truman Sava, and at the end of this parsha, basically they create the Mishkan. Instead of just listening to instructions, they create the Mishkan and everything's made, and Shemot ends with the creation of the Mishkan and some anointments and sacrifices.
Okay, best. Everybody give a round of applause for these girls. I just class is a little bit different, is a lot different really, than any other class in the school because not only do we have the most fun, but we also, most of the work is done not during the class, but actually every single day of the week. Every single day they learn one aliyah. And that means that even when they go to Poland, even on Shabbos, even when they're tired, even when for a couple of days they haven't, that means they have a whole bunch of other aliyahs to do, and they keep going, and they keep going, and they keep going. So they really, really deserve another huge round of applause. I also want to say that, of course, now that everybody's been inspired by how much learning they have done, you're all welcome to join the class. And now we should all give use a big chazak, chazak, v'mi chazek. It is also customary at a Siyyum to say hadranallah. A hadran in Hebrew is an encore, so you should remember that word for the rest of tonight, okay? And why do we say encore? That we never actually fully finished learning something. So look, okay, we've learned all of Sefer Bereshit and all of Sefer Shemot, but of course we're never finished it. We're going to return to it. So, hadranallah Sefer Shemot.
Hadranallah Sefer Shemot.
Woo!